Beers and Banter, episode 45. We might do a little bit of a Melbourne Cup preview, State of Origin this week, and Jolly's going to let us know what's going on with the World Game. Let's rip in. As always, we're really appreciative of the support from the guys at Gripstar Socks. Gripstar anti-slip socks feature panels that create traction that improves speed, acceleration and stability. Gripstar socks are designed to deliver maximum comfort and flexibility, featuring a breathable mesh design that removes sweat and reduces odours. Perfect for high movement sports, working on your feet or lounging safely at home. Seriously grippy. Joel, welcome back to the Sweaty Box.
Matty, it is sweaty in here actually.
It's we're just getting to that point of the season that it is getting rather hot here in the box.
It is a few beers on the weekend too. Has me a little bit extra warm, so that's nice.
You may as well crack another one then. Get into it.
Get into it, you reckon? What do we got?
I'm on a bit of a shoestring budget at the moment, so it's definitely a price point. I've gone for the Byron Bay Brewery.
Never tried it.
Premium lager, but it was at the right price. So
reckon it's all right?
We'll give it a run.
Anything better than the VV last time, right?
Yeah, I looked at the VB and went, that's not happening. Yeah. So this time last year, you would have been in Victoria getting ready for, making sure the suit was pressed. Ready for the
white suit last year too.
White suit.
The white suit. So
ready for the cup.
Yeah, we've been down last 2 years. So we normally go down Friday for the Derby Day. Last year was my first Melbourne Cup. So we're all planned and ready to go and booked in holidays, booked the accommodation. Hadn't booked the flight yet because everything had sort of hit the skids when we're looking at that. But we would be probably just about tucked up in bed in Melbourne right now, ready to go for tomorrow. It's a big day. It's a long day.
So talk us through it. Most people, unless they've been down there, you might do a bit of work in the morning, play hooky a little bit in the afternoon, watch the race, a couple of stubs, and then half the time I've got to pick up the kids from school. Yeah. So that's about the extent of my Melbourne Cups. What are we talking when you go to the actual day?
Melbourne's dead. Basically, the Monday is the carnival or the street walk, whatever they do, or the parade.
Yep.
That's the only thing that happens. Shops close, all that sort of stuff. And then the Tuesday morning, I think we were up at 7:30. Plus the missus likes to get dressed up properly, so it's a 2 or 3 hour process just there. Even myself trying to get into a suit and all this sort of stuff and get in around the place, but you basically leave the hotel at 9:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And a train out to Flemington's 15-20 minutes, and there's people everywhere. You walk in. Derby Day is actually busier. A lot busier than the Melbourne Cup Day, but it's a big day. And I think even last year, the seating where we were in the members there at the top level, if you weren't there at 9:30 when they opened the doors, you had nothing. And they open the doors and people run through. People run to get a seat. So it's just crazy. Next level.
And what time? So Cup's usually 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
3 o'clock
local time.
Yep.
How long do you kick on for after?
Oh, you're out of there at probably 5:30. But then it's who wants to go for a beer somewhere else? But by then you're shattered. You probably had 15 stubbies at $9 each.
Is there much? Is the city come alive at the night time or not?
It does. I think most of the people end up at the casino, like they would here, I suppose. Leave the turf club and go to the casino. I think last year Caroline had enough. The missus had enough. She went home. We went for a meal somewhere. But geez, it happens everywhere. I know there's a couple pubs around sort of Docklands there where exhibition centre is and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Closed, don't open. And a few of the other places. I know one of the boys last year tried to go to Revs, the big nightclub in Melbourne, and they just don't open Melbourne Cup Day.
Wow. So
it's mainly casino and places around South Bank and stuff like that.
So both days holidays, like Monday and Tuesday holidays down there, or just the Tuesday?
I think it's just the Tuesday.
But they have the parade.
But I
on
think
the
everything basically shuts at midday on Monday. I mean, when you walk through the city on that Monday, there's just streets just lined of people for hours.
Yeah, I like it.
For hours. And I think last year it was about 7 degrees as well. The only day that was freezing was stuck outside.
Gamble responsibly, but have you got any tips for us?
Yeah, I like Anthony Van Dyke.
He's one of the jockeys?
Yeah. No. He's one of the horses, of course.
You can tell I've had a good look at
it. Surprise Baby and Very Elegant.
Very elegant.
The three that I like. But again, I wouldn't follow that. If they're the three that aren't going to win, they're the ones. So look for something else.
Bit of a mystery box.
Yeah, it's tough. It's always the toughest one.
Who won the form races coming in? What's normally the good indicator?
Good question. I haven't really looked back because I don't gamble a great deal. I used to have a couple of horses, shares in them, but got rid of them many years ago. And since I got rid of them, I don't really have a punt too much.
Who won on Derby Day?
I do know it, but I'd had a couple of beers by that stage too.
All right, so this isn't your one-stop shop for betting on the big day?
No, not at all. I'll have a look in the morning and I'll probably do a couple of hours work and do the same thing. Whether I knock off, depends how busy the phone is. We might head down the pub and have a few beers. And
it's always horse 7 for me.
Horse 7?
Yeah.
Who is it?
No idea.
No idea?
We should look it up, huh?
Probably should look it up. It could be one of those ones. I know Surprise Baby's around that number. Oh, that might be 9. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe a beer or two tomorrow afternoon. We'll see how we go. See how this goes down.
It'll be interesting to see what it's like with no one there. With no one at the track.
Yeah, it'll be strange, I think. It'd be really strange. Like you think it's going from, 100,000 people to probably 1,000 with owners. Whether owners are allowed in, I'm not sure.
I thought that was a bit of the controversy, wasn't it? That
yeah, they were going to open it up, weren't they? And then
Very Elegant, horse 7.
There you go. That's one of them.
Chris Waller paying $13.
That's the one.
Ooh.
Who's riding that? Craig Williams.
Trainer. No, Mark Zara, it says.
Okay, there you go. What do I know?
No, Craig Williams is on Surprise Baby.
Surprise Baby. Okay. The only other one I thought was Jamie Carr on. She's the form jockey at the moment. She's just about winning everything.
Prince of Aaron.
What
about... so Hugh Bowman's on the Anthony Van Dyke, but it's top weight. It's carrying 58.5 kilos.
Yep.
So we now should have had this up before. We're starting to sound intelligent.
Earlier. Yeah.
Glenn Bosch, he's always on something good usually.
Yeah, I like Craig Williams when he rides a horse with less weight. I think he's only got 56 or 55?
54 and a half.
54 and
Surprise
half,
Baby.
Yep. So there you go. Stay clear of those ones.
Yeah, I was going to say if you avoid anything we've just mentioned, you'll probably do all right.
Yep.
I did pick the winner a few years back there, but
one of my business partners picked the first 4 in about 2000 and it must have been 17 or 18, and he put the bet on, liked it so much, put it on again, put it on twice, and it got up.
Oh yeah,
Paid for his boat, I believe.
I was going to say, did he retire to a beach somewhere?
Paid for his boat, so very lucky. But yeah, should be an interesting day, I think. No fans.
So with the way 2020's played out, we've ended up with these just super weeks or super weekends of sport at the back end of the year. This week we're going to go Bledisloe, which we shouldn't even.
What's that?
I turned it on. We were down by it was about 26-0, and I went, yeah, I'll go back to. I can't even remember what I was watching. I shouldn't mention it for the. It was about as good as that. No, it was the election. The live election coverage.
Yeah. More interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go. Before we move off Bledisloe, I know nothing about rugby union other than Australia's national team will never succeed while it's got a Kiwi coach. It's one thing for the World Game when we had was it Gus Hiddink was a Dutchman.
Yep.
But it's not like we were playing the Dutch in 3 games every year, and it was like like that emotive thing. The Kiwis and the Wallabies are such strong rivals. I can never see it working. Our national coach being a Kiwi.
Do you not think, though, looking at it the other way, that the knowledge and the success they bring maybe could help? No. Or you don't think they get the motivation out of the player?
I think that they can go there with all the greatest intentions in the world.
Yep.
But what's the job they're actually aspiring to?
Yeah.
To be the All Blacks coach.
Yeah, you're right. We are a second fiddle team. Tell me.
I think
I get what you're saying.
So much passion, and people turn around and go, it doesn't matter. It's a professional sport, and the best team, they're not thinking about those things when they run out. It's, they're elite sportsmen.
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, I agree with all of that. And it's going to be the 1% that are going to make the difference. And do you think that coach is devastated when New Zealand wins?
Not at all.
No, because he spent his whole life going for New Zealand.
He's in a win-win situation, isn't he? If his team wins, good on him.
People are like, you're talking out your ass, Big Red, and you wouldn't know what you're talking about. And that's probably true, but I just can't see it. It was the same with the Australian cricket team. We had a South African coach. It was probably a dark time for Aussie cricket.
Yeah.
You would never see, I don't remember us ever having an international coach for the Kangaroos.
Yep.
And people can correct me in the comments below, but I don't think you ever will either. So,
I don't know. I think I do agree. I think it should be an Aussie coach, and I think the same with any national sport should be an Aussie coach. But if they can bring a different culture and different mentality, why not worth a shot? I don't know.
I get it with soccer and that where the absolute best of the best come from overseas, from the best minds. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I've just started playing something back, so.
Don't worry about that, guys.
It's one of the kids' songs I just started playing.
Thank God it was that.
Just nothing but professionalism here, people. I get it with soccer and that we're an emerging nation and we don't have a fierce rivalry.
But if you look, let's say you look at
who's our fiercest rival in the soccer world?
It would have to be England, but we'd never play them. We played them last time 2003. I think we beat them, by the way. But I think if you look at most international football teams, I probably can't think of one now. England's got an English bloke, but before that they never had an English coach. Really, it was very rare they would have one.
Well, who's their national coach now for the Socceroos?
Graham Arnold,
Aussie,
and he's had the job before many years ago.
Yep.
Failed, gone and done a bit more, come back. But yeah, you look at a lot of the international teams, the big teams don't have a national coach of their own nationality.
Yeah, okay.
And England before Gareth Southgate now never had one. So I don't know whether that was the same sort of thing, but I don't know. I think maybe a different culture. I think with the rugby union, the Wallabies have had so many bad years and disasters. And
I think
everything.
It's part of that rivalry, like that fierce rivalry, and maybe.
So if he's English, it's different.
No, but I'm thinking maybe like if it was the English soccer team, would probably never have a French coach.
Probably right.
Something like that. So I'm not.
Or a German coach.
Yeah, it's one of those countries that really go at each other traditionally in a soccer World Cup. Yeah. You're not going to see one from one country coaching the other team's country.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting if this Dave Rennie, 4 years, the next World Cup or whatever, 3 years.
Do you reckon he'll get that far?
Well, it depends on the board.
2 or 3 weeks ago, everybody was cheering like the Wallabies are back. We had that 16-all draw.
Yeah.
Well, the demise of the All Blacks, and they've just come out and spanked us twice.
Didn't he give 10 players a debut on the weekend?
Yeah,
something like 10 players. So to me, I don't know whether that is one of those things where they go, does it take the sacred part of being capped by the Wallabies away from it? Are they just throwing caps out to anyone now?
Oh, big call. Yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah, but are they looking for the next 4 years to bring these players through, and whether they get spanked for the next 2 years? But
long-term goal, you reckon?
But they're playing the best players for the next 2 years. They are playing against the best players for the next 2 years to harden them up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Because I suppose when you watch, I only watch a little bit, not a great deal, but when you look at like the Super Rugby games and stuff like that, you're not playing against the best player every week, are you? So an international game is probably your...
well, it's probably been a hard year this year too because they've only played internally.
In Australia, that's right.
And that's probably the biggest thing with rugby is that then their internal or their domestic competition is nowhere near what
I
other
think they even
codes are.
played the Western Force this year, didn't they? In the Australian thing, they got kicked out of the.
Oh, did they let them back in?
Western Force. I think they only played 7 games or something, but the Western Force come in and they got spanked every week.
Yeah, right.
I think they finished bottom.
Yeah.
Well, not every week. I think they maybe close one week. Don't quote me on this stuff. But yeah, sort of that.
Don't worry, people don't come here for facts and figures.
Yeah.
So we're going to go Bledisloe, bit of Monday-itis today, into the Melbourne Cup tomorrow.
Yep.
Wednesday night, Origin. I don't know how our teams ended up. I don't think me and Tony last week picked our own teams. We were fairly close, but interesting to see. I don't know. I think Munster's still on the beers, is he? I'm not sure if he's started training.
How he rocked up to training on that Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was.
I love it.
Or later in the week.
Yeah.
After seeing the state of him. To see the picture of him and Cameron Smith?
Yeah.
What do you reckon that conversation was about?
Oh, that was them on the couch for Player of the Year or something.
Oh, who knows? On the couch, and Cameron Smith had probably thinking, what's this guy talking about?
How do you feel about the goggles? It happened 5 or 6 years ago with LeBron. I first noticed the goggles thing, and it's like, how are you so confident that you're going to win that you pack ski goggles in your bag for the champagne celebrations?
Is that what it's for? The champagne?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Like I remember the Cavs. The last time, I'm pretty sure it was the last time.
Yeah.
LeBron won it with the Cavs.
Yeah.
They get in the dressing room and everyone puts the ski goggles on, and then they start spraying champagne. I'm like,
yeah,
really? Like,
yeah. I never knew the story. I remember that happening, but I never knew that was the story behind the champagne.
I can't understand that. Well, maybe it's not, but I'm assuming it's to stop the champagne going in the eyes and blinding someone.
Isn't that a part of the fun?
Yeah. Well, you don't see. None of the. It's like the F1 drivers putting their helmets back on for the champagne. Like,
yeah,
that's just part of it. Shut your eyes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an odd one. But if you like in the lead up to all that, the grand final and all that sort of stuff, all the Broncos boys were dressing up as, how the entrances for the NBL or NBA, and they all walk in their big suits and all that.
Yeah.
And their funky clothes. All the Broncos boys were doing that too, so they must follow NBA a lot.
Oh yeah,
basketball a lot.
Definitely baller culture.
Yeah,
we'd be getting it from over there.
Yeah,
no, I just find it interesting, like some of the post game celebrations.
Oh, yeah, Munster and that. What's his name? Hectic Cheese.
The cheese.
The cheese.
I think he'd do. Must be called the Champ Cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Champ Cheese.
So it's double C.
Smart guy.
Just killing it.
He's got the world at his feet at the moment.
He absolutely roasted Bellamy in the post game too. It was sensational.
I haven't seen that. Reckon he stopped drinking yet?
I don't know. I think his Instagram, he had a beer in his hand again yesterday. He basically said, because there's obviously all the talk about Smith going around again, and he's basically said he'd love for Smith to carry him all to another couple of rings, and don't worry about who's playing where. And he goes, and that Bellamy bloke basically doesn't do anything. He just gets paid a lot of money for Cameron Smith to coach the team. So cheeky bugger. But I saw something through the week, and you're a coach you're a coach over there at Broadbeach. Bellamy basically alluded to the fact that he gives a couple of the characters in his team a little bit more rope because they bring energy.
Of course.
So everyone looks at Bellamy as like this hard-nosed, like disciplinarian, but he obviously lets those blokes just run amok.
Well, the thing I noticed I look at this sort of stuff because, obviously team culture and stuff that goes a long way. But if you look at the things that have happened over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks or probably even longer, is a different side of Bellamy to what you've seen. The video of him changing his tyre.
When he started smiling on camera, I knew that they'd won it at that point.
He, so I don't know whether he's changed something over the years or he's got a little more relaxed, but the boys seem to take the mickey out of him.
He definitely hasn't. Did you see what he did to the chair in the commentary box?
I saw him kick the chair. The game was dead, though. Just about.
Oh, they were coming on strong.
Yeah. I don't know, but you look at those videos, him changing the tyre and the boys are into him and having a bit of laugh. I think you're probably right. I think his relationship with his players are probably unbelievable.
Well, they've just spent so much time in confined quarters together.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they were away for 6 months basically, weren't they?
Yeah.
So, I think they just obviously get on quite well, and I think Bennett's probably got the same sort of thing.
That's where he learned
players, and
that's where he learned his trade.
Yeah.
And we're all hoping. Or which way do you Queenslander?
I'm a Queenslander.
So we're all hoping that Wayne Bennett can just extract something out of this underdog Queensland side for this week.
What's the story with Bennett and Meninga?
Well, I think because Kevy couldn't coach. And there's no international footy this year. Okay. I think basically Big Mel's is there to help out.
Mel in. Okay.
Which I find funny because all the media like 12 to 18 months ago was like the feud. That they didn't like each other or something.
And I found it funny that they brought the second coach in, but I thought, I don't know. I found it strange. But yeah, it'll be interesting. What do you think deep down? What do you think?
You can never rule out Queensland.
No, I agree.
The good thing, and I said it last week, they can still only pick 17 people.
Yep.
So they might have 40 good players.
That's right.
But they can only name 17.
Yep.
And so that means we've only got to name 17. There's a couple of spots where there's probably some surprise guys that, at the start of the year, that they certainly wouldn't have been in the mix for Origin. And I'm just trying to pick up I've got the squad, but I'm just going to try and find the game one squad. You look at some of the young guys like Xavier Coates and Phil Sammy and Branko Lee, probably guys that didn't expect to be playing Origin this year.
Yep.
But will they do the job? I'm sure they will.
Maybe you look at it too. They give a little bit extra, thinking, "Geez, maybe I am a little bit lucky to be here."
I didn't think Kalen Ponga was ready for Origin a couple of years back, and he come out and had an absolute blinder. So if they can get these kids in the right frame of mind...
Yeah, give an extra 5%. You just don't know.
Go to Adelaide as underdogs.
So where's the first game?
Adelaide.
Okay. And then Melbourne?
Then it'll go to Sydney.
Sydney, okay.
And then the last game here.
Yep. You going?
No.
Okay. I mean, either.
I haven't got tickets. I don't know. It's been funny. I've been to a few footy games this year, but I've still been a little bit wary to sort of lash out and spend money on any of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't... I'd love to go, but it's one of those things too that I don't know if it's going to be as enjoyable. How many allow? 30,000, I suppose, or
who knows?
Well, it's 30,000 allowed at the AFL.
If we've got no cases and think, I don't know. It's still 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
not sure. Not sure how many. It'll be 35 or 40.
Be interesting to see whether that, because looking at probably going ahead, but looking at the games in the English Premier League, no crowds.
Yep.
A lot of away teams winning.
Oh, right.
A lot of away teams. So I wonder if it's going to be the same over here. Is that home ground support gone? I mean, there's still going to be 30,000 people in Queensland and Sydney.
Well, the good thing is there won't be a lot of Blues fans coming up from New South Wales.
Just kept the closure, I reckon.
But there's
3 weeks.
I'll be checking them at the border for blue wigs, and if they got a blue wig, you'll get sent back.
I think it's great.
Search the bags.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, so it's it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a good game.
Probably the big difference at the moment is when you look at the back lines. I think our halves, I think we've got them covered in the halves. Cameron Munster and DCE are as good as any halves in the game. Where we look light on is the five at the back. You've got Brimson, who's brilliant, but on debut.
Brilliant towards the back.
Xavier Coates, could come out and have a Greg Inglis type debut, or he could have a Justin Hodges type debut.
Yeah.
Who knows? Dane Gagai will be solid.
He's been around a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I prefer him as a winger, but he's playing in the centres.
Okay.
Branko Lee's just won a premiership, but he probably surprised. You look at that. You look at the Blues back line. You've got Tedesco, Tupu, Gutherson, Whiten, Addo-Carr, Keary, Cleary. I think all of those guys played in the last 2 weeks of the season.
And Tedesco's probably the best in the game at the moment, isn't he? Really?
Forwards, I think our forwards will definitely hold their own. Ben Hunt in the 14.
So Harry Grant?
Harry's not been named. I thought Harry might sneak in there, but
really, I thought he would have been too.
I think he was in my lineup. Yeah, he was in my 14. I went for him at 14, but interesting.
Before he got injured, he was on fire, wasn't he?
I would have had Mo Fodawaka from the Titans in the team as well.
Okay.
That's just me.
So dry arrows in there. obviously.
Jai's playing 16. They've gone with Tino, the young fella, in the starting lock position, which, so it's a big call up for him.
Okay.
Parley and Welch Christian Welch in the front row. Yeah, so certainly they'll hold their own. It's just.
So how many debutants in that team? In the Queensland team?
Off the top of my head.
Compared to New South Wales?
Off the top of my head, it is. Wayne Bennett has named a stunning 12 debutants in the 21-man squad. So there's a few of those guys, though, that won't actually start.
It's a lot, though, isn't it? A real lot.
Mm.
But again, if you got...
They'll be just telling that 1995 story all week.
Yeah.
You know, Ben Eichen, school-age kid.
Yep.
Matt Singh.
He was at Tweed Seagulls then, wasn't
he? Yeah, guys, they were never supposed to beat that side, and they did. And I think this squad's a lot better than that squad potentially would have been when it lined up. So
underdogs never. Queensland have always had that, haven't they? A little bit extra ticker at the end.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward. It'll be good. It'll be real good.
So that's Wednesday night. Now, what's been? Let's start local. Give us a rundown of what was 2020. It's been a little while since you're in here. What was 2020 like for the local soccer? We'll call it soccer, just so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
on the Gold Coast, what was it like?
Same as everything, really. So we started training in November, December. Then we started. Obviously, we played 2 games.
Yep.
In the season, COVID hit, shut us down for about 3 months before we could start training. Gave us a date. We come back. Gold Coast football shortened the season, so it was supposed to be a 21-game season. They shortened it to 14 games. Still have promotion relegation, which is ridiculous. For you sign up for a competition, then you change it, but you don't change the rules. It's very weird. So I've only complained about this because the first team finished bottom.
Yep.
So we finished bottom. So we're in the playoff relegation game.
So the game that got cancelled on the weekend, are they going to play it again?
Yeah, so we played, there's 2 legs to that. Home. We play at home first against third place in the league below. So the top 2 teams already come up because it's a 10-team competition next year, so they're bringing 2 new teams in.
Mm-hmm.
Third place, which how they get a right to play anyway, third place then play off against bottom, which was us.
Okay.
So...
Is that your team you coach? Or
no, I coach the reserves.
Yep.
I coach the reserves.
Okay.
So we finished quite a bit bottom, but a whole rebuilding year, 15, 16 players left from last season to this season. So it was a whole rebuilding year. So first leg against Runaway Bay, we're 4-1 up.
Yep.
Second leg was supposed to happen on Saturday. Obviously the storm didn't happen. So Thursday night is the football. So
where's everyone got to get down to Thursday night?
We're going to get to Runaway Bay. Runaway Bay Bayhawks, opposite the shopping centre there. 7 o'clock kickoff. We're yellow and blue. 4-1 up. So if they beat us 3-0, they win, basically.
Right.
And we get relegated.
Yeah, okay.
So we just have to, no mistakes. They're quite a young side, but quality-wise, we're far better. But we just need to, obviously, anything like one of those games anything can happen. You see it all the time. They get a quick goal to start with, and we go in the shell. You just don't know. So, so that's been that year, but it's been a tricky year. I think the COVID things have affected people differently.
Definitely.
I think we looked at the other day. We played in reserve grade this year. We used 46 players. You can only pick 15 each week.
Yeah,
so
right.
We used 46 in total. First grade used something like 35 or something.
So it's hard to get the same team on the park every week?
Yeah, injuries, suspensions. People have booked holidays. People like a lot of our foreigners, or a couple of our foreigners, have always had to go back home. The Japanese boys we had to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost 3 or 4 players there. So it's been testing, plus the 15 that left at the start of the year. That sort of changed the whole landscape of Broadbeach and who they were as a club, and still got the culture there. That's what we need to bring back. But in terms of who's going to win that league, the top 4, Surfers Paradise, Palm Beach, Coomera and Robina. Coomera have players like Enrique that used to play for Brisbane Roar. Remember him, the slippery fish little Brazilian guy?
Yep.
So he played a lot of quality, quality. So they play Palm Beach this weekend. basically knockout game.
Yeah, okay.
One game through to the grand final. So, tricky one. I would say Surfers are the favourites. So, Surfers will probably win that league.
Yep.
Reserve grade, I don't know, don't care. I'm not in it, so I don't care. So they can do whatever they want. But look, it has been a hard year, and I think they probably should have just wiped their hands of the relegation promotion stuff and just said 14 games. It's not the same season. Let's pick it up again next year. In the higher level, the NPL side, Brisbane teams dominating again. The two local teams, Gold Coast United, are struggling a little bit. Gold Coast Knights sacked their coach. He'd lost, I think, 1 or 2 games in 37 games or something like that. They sacked him. Very interesting.
Scandal?
Well, we don't know. No one knows. Obviously, there was something behind the scenes, you would think, at either board level or someone didn't get on with someone. But the coach, was a very good coach, Gray. So I'm sure he's got offers knocking on his door from everywhere. But yeah, they sacked him probably 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
I think they were second on the ladder. So pretty brutal. But look, it is. I guess that's the sporting industry. If you don't get the desired results, you're out the door.
So if we go from there to the A-League.
A-League, I think it's starting soonish.
Yep.
I can't remember who won the thing. Sydney, I think. Okay.
So what are they? They're probably starting at the right time where potentially we could be the internal borders could open in the next couple of weeks.
They changed the start time. Australia, the A-League used to have, or probably still does, has the longest pre-season of anywhere in the world because it's 6 months and they have a 6-month pre-season. Basically,
yeah, right.
It's crazy. So I think they're starting it a bit earlier and trying to over the next couple of years bring soccer back to a winter sport. I think that's the plan.
And they've always dodged. Is that the reason they play in summer is to line up with the Northern Hemisphere, but
correct.
Also you're not competing with League and Union and AFL on the weekends?
I'd say so. I think it's more so the European stuff because then you're not halfway through a season when a World Cup comes around or something like that because the World Cups are I think normally June, July.
So why would they go back to winter then?
So there's a break between So they're international because most of the Australian side is made up of players that play in the Northern Hemisphere.
Right.
Like a team that goes to the World Cup would be basically European players.
So that it's not really going to interrupt the A-League season.
It won't really. The A-League will probably play through it.
Yeah.
But that means that the European players have maybe had a 2 or 3 week break before they go into camp for a World Cup.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're trying to probably freshen up the players for a World Cup so we're in line with the other ones rather than players coming straight out of a season there. Like there might be say half a dozen local players in the in the World Cup squad, I guess.
When's the next World Cup?
2023.
Yep.
20. I can't remember. 22.
And it's in Qatar.
Qatar, but that's now a December World Cup. January, December.
And it's going to be 400 degrees there no matter what time of year it is.
Exactly, and very limited beer, apparently.
I
don't know.
That's a whole other controversy I don't really know enough about. But
there's so much controversy in that.
What we're better off talking about, what are the young names that are going to make up our squad for that next World Cup? Who should we keep an ear out for or keep our eyes on?
I think it's going to be a lot of new players.
Yeah. A
lot of the guys in younger, lower leagues in England at the moment.
Soccer needs a Harry Kuehl or a Tim Cahill.
We just lost Lyndon Dykes to Scotland. So he was at Livingston in Scotland, and then QPR in London signed him. Decent deal too. I think it was £2 million to the signing fee. But he was born on the Gold Coast.
But he's not going to play for the Socceroos?
No, so his parents are Scottish.
Oh, stop it.
No, so I agree with Lyndon. His thoughts, he never got a chance with an A-League club here. No one would take a gamble on him, take a risk on him. So he ended up going to Scotland and playing over there.
Give yourselves an uppercut.
Yeah, basically. They put all their faith in him and looked after him, the system over there. And he had a choice, I believe, and he chose Scotland. So I can see why. And he's a goal scorer. We don't have a goal scorer. So I think we've missed a trick by not signing him. But there's players around that sort of age. I think Lyndon must be mid-20s now, early to mid-20s. But there's players around that sort of age playing in slightly lower leagues. We haven't got a great deal in the Premier League anymore. I think Matty Ryan at Brighton's our only Aussie player in the Premier League.
Yep.
Aaron Moy went to China on big money. Wuhan, I think he actually, or somewhere around there. Or maybe not Wuhan. So I don't know. Somewhere around in China for hundreds of thousands of dollars per week. I think crazy money.
Nice.
Crazy money. So, and he's 30, so you can't blame him. But so that basically that generation we've had is now just about gone. So there'll only be a handful of players you'd probably know. The
round ball game in Australia really needs that big ticket name, doesn't it?
Correct.
Get behind.
Correct. So I think the Women's World Cup's here in 2023, or by look, there's a bid or something like that. I think we won it. We did win it.
Sure, we won it.
Yeah, in New Zealand, 2023. So I think they learnt from their mistakes with previous bids and those sorts of things. And
they know who to.
Allegedly. But yeah, that's all been sort of cleared up. So I think if they do it properly, they can probably give the game, especially in the women's side of things, a huge boost. But I think overall a huge boost for football or soccer in Australia. But you're right, we need a star. Probably the biggest star is Daniel Arzani. He just moved to FC Utrecht in.
And who's the leader of the Socceroos? It's how big? Not the Socceroos, the Matildas.
Sam Kerr's the big one.
Sam Kerr.
She's at Chelsea.
She'd be the biggest name in Australian soccer right now. Either men and women.
Nearly the world, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's a big name. Big star in the women's. I don't follow a lot of women's football, but
But she went from the States over to where?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I think we've got the women's game's got about 9 or something players or something, whatever number it is in the English Super League they call it now.
Yeah, that's good.
So Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton. I think one of the Gold Coast girls, Hayley Raso.
Yeah.
I think she's at Everton. So yeah, there's big names in that. So I think that could give it a boost. But you're right. We need a superstar of some sort. Like you said, when your Harry Kewells come through and those sorts of players, we need another one of those. Quick, smart.
So if we go to last time we were in, we were waiting for Liverpool to get our team.
Our team, yep.
Beers and Banter's favourite team.
That's it.
Liverpool. We won the title.
We got it done in the end.
Did you get the tattoo?
Not yet.
Still in design stage?
Yeah, I can't get to a tattoo artist just yet. It'll happen. It'll happen. It's got to happen.
So how are we looking? The next season's kicked off. It's been that long since you've been on. The next
So next season's kicked off with 7 games in.
Yep. Back to back.
We've played some terrible football. We've had 3 centre backs injured.
No.
So we've got 1 senior centre back left. We've conceded the most goals in
the
league.
Hang on, we've got 1 left, or he's a centre back left.
We've got 1 left.
What's a centre back left play? Where do they play?
Left centre back. Left centre. He's a left centre back. So we got 1 centre back left out of the whole senior squad, and we've conceded the most goals out of anyone in the league, and we're still top.
That's not. Oh, really?
Yes, incredibly, with 3 points clear on top.
Do you want another Byron Bay lager?
Yeah, it wasn't bad actually.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it. So, thanks, mate.
It's definitely, it's wet and it's drinkable.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it.
So back to back, I don't know. It's a tricky one. Like I said earlier, that they're finding like a lot of teams. Liverpool are an exception to this. Liverpool haven't lost a league game at home for 63 games, I think. So it goes back years.
So you're saying a lot of the away teams are winning. Why is that?
Well, they think, a couple of reports I read was that they think the home ground advantage is gone. There's no one in the stadium. So when you go to an English Premier League game, it's intimidating.
But you would still think that the local team sleeping in their own bed. I reckon, do you know what COVID, this whole bubble and COVID and that's, some teams have benefited from a limited amount of travel.
Yep.
And I start thinking back to NRL, obviously, it's the most local. But then you've got the teams that have basically spent 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months in each other's pocket. Now, is that potentially the case? Is that the away teams, they're travelling together, the team comes together a bit earlier when you travel. So if the home ground advantage is lost, well, then maybe the fact that the team that's travelling's got their head switched on a bit earlier than the team that's playing at home?
I'm not sure that's a big thing in England. Like, if you think...
They're not going that far.
No, it's maybe a 4-hour bus ride. But most of they fly. Like, Liverpool will fly to London, and it's probably a 30-minute flight.
Yeah, righto.
So it's nothing. So I don't think that would play a big part. And some mornings they might fly down the morning of the game anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Or someone would fly up or whatever. So I don't see it being so much that. I think it's that when you go to an Anfield, Liverpool, you've got 54,000 capacity. There's only 4,000 away fans allowed. That's it. There's only like a 9% or an 8% of the capacity of the stadium allowed for away fans.
Yes.
And they're congregated with themselves, obviously. It's not like a rugby league game where you've got Blues and Maroons sitting beside each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, the only thing that really comes close is when you've got the, what is it? The guys with the blue wigs at an Origin game.
Yeah, they put them in one end, yeah.
When they put them all in the one section.
Yeah.
Or the Richie Benos at the cricket sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I think about it. But that's what it's like. It's literally like a fenced-off section where the away...
I think you can buy away tickets
Butchie's
here.
Blues, I was thinking of, yeah.
So you can buy away tickets here in A-League games and stuff too, home and away, but there's nothing... If you bought a home ticket, which you probably would get anyway, but if you bought a home ticket at an away, when you were going away, and you celebrated a goal, you kicked out. They kicked you out.
They kick it. Is that a nice way of saying you get the locals sort you out?
If the security get to you first, they kick you out.
Yeah, right. That's the good outcome, is getting kicked out.
So I think it's I don't know. It could be a number of things. I suppose is that home ground advantage with crowds. It could be stuff that you said. It could be I know different teams reacting differently at the moment. I'm not sure. So back to back's definitely on the cards. But it's too early to call and it's too close.
And then, obviously, they've got the complexity. England's about to go into another month-long lockdown.
Yeah, Thursday, I believe. They're locking down again. So
is the sport going to keep going or not?
I believe so. I believe sport's okay. They were talking about originally having fans back in stadiums in October. And the amount of money these clubs must be losing. Like, you think about their wage bills.
Yeah.
I think about... I don't know. I don't even know what it would be. You can't even think about it. 20 players all on an average of £100,000 a week.
It's phenomenal.
It's a lot of money. So if you're missing out on 60,000 people through your gates every weekend,
what has it been like in those big leagues? Have they stopped paying, or are they still got to pay all those blokes?
No, there was still huge transfers. So I think Liverpool bought in. They did say that it was going to stop these massive transfer fees for a little while, but I think Chelsea spent about £300 million on new players. He's a Russian oil magnate. Liverpool bought 2 players for about £70 million. So the big money's still being spent. So
where did Messi change clubs?
No, he didn't. He stayed in Barcelona. Yes, and he got his way. The president left last week. President of the board left, so he'll stay at Barcelona now, I think, until the end of his career.
Ronaldo, Cristiano
went
Ronaldo.
to Juventus last year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It's an interesting time over there. Maybe it will stop again, but how long can they stop it for? Like until these clubs start going broke, or where does all the money come from to keep these things afloat?
Well, you would think at some point if they stop playing that the players would have to take the cut, surely. They haven't looked into like a NBA style bubble or a
Well, I'd say they're roughly doing the same now. Is that players they do testing every day on players, like they did here in the NRL and stuff. So it would do testing every day. I think 2 or 3 Liverpool players got coronavirus. So I don't know. I don't know what how long can the money last? How long can an owner? I suppose they're still getting TV rights.
Yeah,
they're kicking up a stink over there now. All the fans is that because there's no what they call a 3 p.m. game televised in England. There never used to be.
Okay.
Because I think it was set up. They didn't want those games at 3 p.m. televised. So if you live in your local area, you get out the door and go to a game, and you fill a stadium.
It used to be like that here with cricket.
Did it?
Yeah. So you couldn't watch.
Oh, I think I remember. Like,
might be showing my age here a little bit.
I think I remember.
If the test was at the Gabba, it wasn't on the telly.
Yeah, I think I remember. It's the same over there. 3 o'clock kickoff. They don't show a game. So now they put every game on television because there's no crowds.
Yeah.
But they want to charge £15 per game.
To watch it?
One game.
To watch it?
Yeah. So there's a big uproar at the moment about that, because they think football's a working class sort of game, they reckon, but it's become for the elite now. So, and with the amount of money that these TV companies get anyway, it should be free party membership or something. I guess I don't know.
I think that's the dynamic moving forward for any sport anywhere in the world. Is sport is getting too good to watch from home.
Way too good.
How do they get to them to the game? But then B, how do you collect the right amount of revenue from the televised games, but also looking after your members?
Yeah.
Because it's the same here, is that, and go back to the NRL Grand Final and having a massively, you've got people that are a biased call from certain members of the commentary team, and you think, well, in like baseball in America, if you're watching a Yankees game, you're getting a Yankees commentator, probably. But how do these media companies? They've got to make money because they're providing a service, but it's certainly they're going to have to look that. Sorry about the motorbike, people. Soundproofing's going good. How do they? Today's consumers of sport are going to be different tomorrow, and they're going to be different in 5 to 10 years. So, is it going to be a user pay model when there's a lot of people out there that say, well, it should be free. I'm a member, it should be free, or it's a working class game. It shouldn't cost me money to watch this on telly, especially when you're getting fed a whole lot of ads or whatever from different sponsors.
Well, it'll go to a streaming service. I think all of it, won't it? Like the days of Foxtel are probably.
Has Optus still got it here in Australia?
Yeah, all the EPL, all the Champions League, probably, maybe.
And what does that cost you a month?
Oh, it's $10.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
Crazy. Yeah, it's so small. Well, actually, I think it's included with my home internet for free.
Yeah, righto.
But to get it for free, you had to obviously have an Optus plan of some sort. But I think they did a deal at the start of the season for.
So that was pretty ordinary in the early days. I remember a lot of blow-ups about people.
They basically ballsed up the World Cup.
Yeah.
With the games stopping and all that sort of stuff.
But long term, it's obviously been good for Optus because they'd have a lot more customers now than that they would have before.
Definitely. But it's still, I have issues with it because they say live sport. I'm probably being picky here, but streaming is not live.
It's a couple minute or so behind.
Well, yeah. If I watch it through Optus Sport TV channel on the TV box, it's basically about 45 seconds to a minute delayed.
I know exactly what you're talking about because if I'm watching NRL on the iPad, I'll be getting texts from mates. Like, oh, how good's this? And I'm like, stop texting me because I haven't seen what you're talking about.
That's the problem. So if you watch it through the app, it's nearly up to date.
You'll get try time via text message.
It ruins the game for you.
Yeah, I've got to turn my phone. Basically, you've got to put your phone away.
Yeah, I agree. But I think it will go to streaming, but they need to figure out a way to get it better. Especially if they're going to charge $20 a match or $15 a match. But I would think it's probably a smart way to go. How many people out there sign up for Foxtel so they can get? Maybe they're a Titans fan. They only want to watch Titans games.
Well, to be fair, if you're a Titans member and you want to watch the Titans play, you can't rely on Channel 9 because we don't get a lot of Channel 9 games.
And you don't get Friday night games, do you?
No. So you've got to either pay the subscription to the NRL, which I don't mind. That's one option. Telstra customers get that for free.
Yep.
So you can do it that way, which that's not too bad. I'd like to see it part of your club membership. Yeah, so if you pay X amount of dollars per year, you get your games.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
So I know as a member of the Titans, I'm going to get to see every Titans game regardless of what time or what channel it's going to be on.
So I suppose they can do that here too because basically NRL still own the licenses or whatever, don't they?
And this year, I started to get concerned because the big media companies were basically saying they wanted that off the NRL. And thankfully, I believe the NRL dug their heels in and said, no, that's ours.
They wanted to buy...
They wanted the onlines. They wanted the app or the online department.
Amazon's now involved in sport as well. So Amazon in the UK is huge. So they now stream Premier League games. So they bought the rights to a certain amount of games. So these big players are really coming in. Like I suppose it'd only take an offer of $1 billion or something.
Well, he's the kind of guy that could probably upset, news.com or Fox,
Yeah. Well,
he's got enough cash.
A Fox running out of money? I don't know. I don't even know if they've re-signed the A-League. I'm not sure. Even though it wouldn't be a huge money maker for what they pay.
I don't know. Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Well, I know the rugby, obviously, NRL and AFL probably generate money, and the rest of them probably lose money for those different companies.
I suppose over the years we'll get a choice of what we want to watch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Yep.
On that note, we've got a couple of
world exclusives.
We've got some seriously grippy socks here.
We've got some new pastel ankle colour socks. Pink, green, and blue.
So we're going to give those away on... we'll stick to Instagram, I reckon, for this one.
Yeah, stick to Instagram. We'll do a little giveaway. We'll
throw in a Beers and Banter snapback into that kit.
We might change it up a bit from last time. Do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
get the creative juices flowing.
Stay tuned to the social. So where can everyone find you?
We're at Gripstar Socks.
At Gripstar Socks?
On Instagram, at Gripstar Socks.
Obviously, people, you know where you can find us at Beers and Banter on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Please do us a favour, comment, share, and like. Really helps us out to get it out to more people. And we'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, Joel.
Cheers, mate.